All right, so when a lot of people get started in preparedness, right, they get this idea where they want to be more prepared, they want to be able to take care of themselves in case of an emergency, but they have no clue where to even start. And so I start with the 5 steps of emergency preparedness, and the 5 steps are pretty easy to get through once you understand them. And so step 1 is prevention. So whatever it is that you are preparing for, you need to figure out how to prevent it from happening, and you need to get your preps and your things together. You need to be able to manage how to prevent that bad thing from happening in the first place. If you're scared of your house burning down, right? You don't need to start by figure, okay, once my house burns down, now what do I do? No. Let's start with step 1. Step 1 is trying to prevent the house from burning down in the first place. Making sure your electrical is up to date and to code. Making sure that there are wildfires in your fire pit and your barbecue grill aren't too close to your home. Making sure that you're preventing the bad thing from happening in the first place is always step 1, and that's always where you should start. You should always start with, is there a way of preventing this bad thing from happening, and what do I need to do? Sometimes you have to cut out the brush around your house so that the fire doesn't build up around it. Sometimes you have to cut down some trees so that the trees, if they start on fire, they don't fall on the house. There's a lot of management that goes into preventing bad things from happening, and that's where your preparation should start, right? You should start by making sure that you're preventing the thing from happening in the first place. Now, there are some things that are unpreventable, such as like a tornado or a flood or any natural disaster. You really can't prevent those things from happening, but you can go to step 2, which is mitigation, right? So step 1, we're preventing it from happening in the first place. Number 2, we're making sure that if it does happen, it's as small as possible, right? Going back to the house burning down, which seems to be the best example for this, is if the oven starts on fire, right? Make sure that you keep it a small situation. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher, a fire blanket, everything you need. Make sure you know how to handle that situation. Maybe you can suffocate the fire so that it doesn't get any bigger. You're mitigating the problem to as small as possible, because the smaller it is, the more manageable it is. And so you want to prevent it from happening. You don't want anything bad to happen. But if something bad is going to happen, you want to make sure that you're capable and able to make that problem as small and as manageable as possible. So step 1 is prevention. Step 2 is mitigation. Step 3 is preparedness. Okay? The problem, like a tornado or a flood, it could happen. If you're in a flood zone, if you're in tornado alley, if you're in a hurricane area, if there's potential for something bad to happen, you need to prepare yourself for that bad thing. Okay, you need to make sure that you have a safe place to go if you need to escape. You need to make sure that you have a plan. You need to make sure that you have all the resources you need. If there's a winter storm, okay, let's make it a smaller problem. A winter storm, right? I still have power. I still have my house. Everything at home is still the same. The only difference is I can't go anywhere. Okay, so I need to prepare for that. I need to make sure that I have food. I'm not going to be able to go to the grocery store. I'm not going to be able to go to the gas station. I'm not going to be able to go anywhere. So I need everything I need needs to be inside my home. Okay, I don't have the capability of going and getting anything. So I need everything I need right here at home, and so I need to prepare for that. If there's a winter storm and I'm stuck in my house for 3-4 days or a week, I still need to be able to eat. I still need to be able to shower and clean and take care of myself. I need to be able to cook. I need to be able to do everything right here at home. And I need to make sure that I don't run out of any of those resources. So step 1 is prevention. Step 2 is mitigation. Step 3 is preparation. Okay? 1 and 2, like I said, when it comes to natural disasters, you might not be able to fully incorporate 1 and 2 into your plan, but preparedness should always be a part of every plan. Number 4 is response. Okay, and this is where the plan comes in. This is where practicing the plan. Once something bad happens, right, you have everything you need. Now you need to respond to that situation. You need to take all those things that you prepped and prepared, and you need to put them into action. And you need to do what needs to happen. And a lot of people, they freeze, right? So they plan, they've prepared, they've done all the research, they have all the knowledge, they have all the skills, they have all the tools and everything they need. And then once the bad thing happens, their mind goes blank, right? You need to practice these things. You need to make sure that once whatever it is you're prepping for happens, you can react. It's almost instinctive. You know exactly what to do and how to do it. You don't have to think about it, right? Because when you have to stop and think and your mind's not working, that's when the bad things happen. And you'll see this a lot with like self-defense situations where there's a threat attacking them, they'll pull their firearm, but they'll forget to turn the safety off and it won't go bang, right? They won't be able to defend themselves. They went and they learned how to prevent the situation from happening. They learned how to mitigate the situation. They don't go in dark alleys. They don't go where they're not welcome. They make sure they're always in a well-lit, safe environment. But just out of sheer coincidence, something bad happened. But they were prepared. They had everything they need. They trained, they practiced. But that one little thing that they had to think about, right, that wasn't just intuitive because they didn't practice turning the safety off. They just practiced drawing the firearm. Now all of it was for nothing, right? So make sure that you can respond correctly, accurately, whatever that means, whatever it is you have to do to make sure that you can respond without thinking. All right, that's the part that's important, is respond without thinking. You need the muscle memory. You need to be able to do it just like you've always done it. You can't have any minor little details not accounted for. And then number 5 is recovery. Okay, the situation presents itself. Everything is destroyed. Whatever happened. Now what? What do you do after the fact? And again, people, they get so prepared, then they're like, if a flood happens, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And they survive. The flood's over. And now what? Where do you go from here? Right? The house is flooded. There's lots of damage. What do I do next? Right? You need to prepare for that as well. Okay? Make sure you understand your insurance coverage. Make sure you have the number for your insurance company so that you can call the proper insurance company. If there's a flood, you're probably going to have to call your car insurance and your house insurance or your renter's insurance. If those are the same people, do you have to call separate numbers? Are they different departments? Are you going to have to talk to each of them, or can you talk to one person? If they're two separate places, then make sure you have the policy numbers and everything for those places. These are all things that most people don't think about when it comes to personal preparedness. Right? They think about the disaster, they think about the emergency, they think about the survival situation, but once that passes, right? Once you've accomplished what you set out to accomplish, what happens after that? Okay, do you call 911? Do you call your insurance? Do you call a lawyer? Who do you call? What's the next step? Make sure you research that now and make sure you have the information you need to make those calls. If there's a flood or your house burns down and all your documentation is inside that house and now it's water damage, it started on fire, where are you going to get that information? So next week, make sure you subscribe, because next week I'm going to talk about free downloadable content that you can get off the internet to help you keep your documents in order. Make sure you have everything documented and written down and in its place so that you're never stuck not knowing how to recover. So thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you on my next video.